This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
I feel like that's more reason to do it. 9 a.m., hour number 3 underway, Wednesday, August 20th. 20 minutes from now, Bill Rabinowitz joins the show to update us on Ohio State's depth chart. Don't know what mythical national titles we could claim for them. Were there close losses out there where we feel like they should have been named?
I don't know.
National champions?
Perhaps.
800-239-9569 if you want to get in. You can also text into the show 205-834-9450. How's the text line look over there, Damien?
It's pretty entertaining. A lot of people are kind of on your boat, Cole. It says Jonathan texting. He says the only thing worse than Auburn claiming these national champions is the fact that we're still talking about it.
We actually are not talking about that. We have not had a second of conversation about whether or not a title should have or should not have been claimed. It literally has not happened. Go review the tape. You people saying that are worse than Ole Miss fans. You don't know what you heard. And you think you heard something that was not said by an individual. So stop doing it.
Got him.
Listen to the words. Have a judgment on words is fine. An opinion on words is fine. But don't say that things were said or done that were not said or done. That cannot be tolerated. And it will not be tolerated on this show. John would like to chime in on the phones since the text lines have obviously melted. Welcome in, John.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So, hey, I just wanted to respond back to Golden Domer and his integrity comment about my beloved Auburn Tigers. Let's not forget that their Hall of Fame coach, Mr. Holtz, left not one, not two, including theirs, but 3 NCAA Division I programs in shame and NCAA sanctions. And also, let's not forget about the very wealthy female Notre Dame booster who dumped big checks for entertainment with the football players. 9 national titles. War damn Eagle.
Thanks for the call. Who's the female we're referencing there?
No clue.
I have no idea.
Is that like the Notre Dame Ashley Judd? I honestly don't know who it is.
I have no idea.
Who is the most famous female Notre Dame fan? Like celebrity fan? I don't know.
Golic's wife?
Regis Philbin's wife? I don't know.
No clue.
Christine Golick? She's up there. I didn't know there was like a celebrity Notre Dame fan that had those accusations headed her way.
I'm unfamiliar with that game. No clue.
Mark and Charlotte would like to chime in. Welcome in, Mark.
Hey, Cole. Hey, Greg. How are you doing?
Hey, buddy.
We've had better days.
Real quick, the female the last caller was talking about was a tutor who was doing homework assignments for Notre Dame back in the day.
What's the
under
problem
Brian
with that?
Kelly's watch, which is why he lost 14 wins at Notre Dame through the NCAA. But that's not why I called. Not why I called, Cole. Greg. I made a mistake on our show, which aired on ESPN2. And
what show is that,
is
Mark?
All the flack for
what
it.
show are we referencing?
Fine, Mom.
No, sure.
No, we're talking about the Always College Football Show.
Got it.
God.
Noted.
On the
Noted.
ESPN YouTube page as well. But I had it a poor mistake.
He has
a
Nebraska in the
mistake
SEC.
by me. I had Nebraska in the SEC.
Yeah.
Awful announcing picked it up. A couple other, and it just shouldn't be catching the flack for that. I should be. So I was calling to clear the air and to make sure, if Greg,
I'm not
you
talking
could
to you
say
right
anything you'd like to me within. I know you're not. That's why I had to put this out there. You know, it's a.
Stephen Godfrey had things to say about it.
Do you think Auburn should claim 9 national titles, Mark?
I think Auburn in 1993, also going with the last caller, why didn't they play in a bowl game? Weren't they under NCAA sanctions? But they would have lost to Florida State or Notre Dame. So 2004, I think, is a legitimate. But going back to the early 1900s is a little ridiculous.
No pushback here. I don't know why people are so polarized and triggered by this topic. If you really dive into it, like it really doesn't matter. You can claim whatever you want. It doesn't. I could claim right now that I'm the best cornerback alive. Corner, not quarter. Corner back alive.
Did you think that our opinions would change if you said quarterback?
Either one. I just feel like corner is way less believable. I could claim to be the best power forward in the NBA. It doesn't matter. Like, you can claim whatever you want. It doesn't make it true.
They have power forwards in the NBA anymore, so that actually
Stretch
might work.
four.
That could work.
Positionless offense. It doesn't matter. You can claim whatever you want.
Is there a more narrative-based sport than college football?
No.
Mm-mm. Right. So that's where these claims go back, and these championships
WNBA might be up there right now.
1998. They were all narrative-based on the national media.
Different times.
I do agree with Greg a little bit that, yeah.
How many
24,
national championships
playoff, right?
has Nebraska claimed is what we need you to answer on the show today.
SEC titles, they've claimed 3.
Too soon.
Wow. They probably could claim it in 95 based on what they did before.
Soon.
So, all right, Mark, I don't know. Is your apology accepted or not, Greg?
No.
Okay,
he's out.
There you go.
Oh.
That's it. Sorry. It's
Well,
a good try.
It was worth a shot, Cole.
It was a great effort. I appreciate you.
Hang up on him and block his number.
Giving it a go. Okay.
He's a Notre Dame guy. We have one of those already. One too many.
Well, the people are upset.
About?
Just all of it.
Now somebody texted in and says we need to put the numbers in the Rubik's Cubelic.
Now, there we go.
That's how we know.
Well, we have not factored in the Rubik's Cubelic for tossing yards. Not passing yards, tossing yards, like players being tossed. I don't know how the rocket scientists at Redstone would be able to factor that in. Also, stomping, eye gouging, and stabbing. I don't know how we would factor those in either.
Those weren't penalties.
Those were all required back in the day.
And lunching. Don't forget about lunching, where you bite players' legs.
By the way, we have a whole new take on that at Louisiana Lafayette. Quarterback named Lunch. If you missed our segment on what year was the Swanee team? 1899. Lunching was the thing where players were encouraged or maybe even coached to bite other players. Celebrated. So there we go. I don't know if we're even allowed to talk about that anymore. FCC might not allow that. What else are they saying, Damien? How much do they hate the show right now? That's what I need to know.
No, somebody agrees with Greg. Says statute of limitations has been exceeded to come to the schedule comparison when it comes to the conclusion of Auburn 2024. Don't get whooped at home in 2003.
Yeah. Don't get smoked. Don't get run out of the gym at home.
I will say that might be the most surprising part of this entire day is that you are taking a previous year's team and saying that is why we cannot view the next year's team in a different way.
Not only am I taking a previous year's team, I'm acknowledging the fact that SC team remained mostly intact and advanced, actually.
But no other team can advance year to year. Just
I'm not
the
saying
USC
Auburn
team can advance.
I'm not saying Auburn didn't advance. All I'm saying is that at home they got run out of the gym.
Well, they played on a football field for one.
Put them in the football field. Put them in the dang jungle. I don't care. The result would have been the same.
But it wasn't an orange out.
SC would have lit them up. And the best thing that happened to Auburn that year was not play SC. That was the best thing that happened to them.
I actually think winning the SEC championship was probably the best thing.
No, the best thing that happened to them that year was not being in the BCS championship game. It's the best thing that happened to them.
I will say this to close this discussion, hopefully. And this may be the most embarrassing thing that I've ever said on this show. God, do I even say it?
Yep, might as well. You teased it.
You can say it after the break and keep people in their car.
Don't leave us hanging, man.
We're not close to a break. Actually, I could take Hastings and we'd be past time for a break.
Too soon.
Let's go.
A massive advantage for Auburn in this game. God, I'm going to do it. I hate myself. Would have been Cody Bliss.
Who?
Who?
Is that the punter?
I said it.
Is that the punter?
I said it.
Is that the punter? I'm asking the question.
I said what I said.
I don't know who that is.
That's not my fault.
He was the kicker, wasn't he?
No.
He was the punter?
He was.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
What are we doing?
Talking about football?
We've lost him.
I'm done. I am honestly done. Heyday!
That might get you
I'm
fired
putting in
from
my
Haney.
2 weeks.
I deserve it.
So
After all the other things
Haney!
that has happened, you worried about Haney firing you.
Wow.
That might
Haney!
do it.
Get my papers ready.
Changing careers.
2 weeks.
So coffin corner Bliss all of a sudden is changing the game.
I'm putting in my 2 weeks.
Dude was legit good.
Cole just gave Auburn an advantage over 2004 SC because they had a better punter.
I'm just saying an advantage in general, like not necessarily there.
What's wrong with it?
Seems reasonable.
He was good.
The punter.
This is unbelievable.
The punter.
That's from Houndstooth Haney too.
Right.
No, Haney's Barner.
Oh no, you don't get the name Houndstooth Haney by sucking up to the barn.
The punter.
I'm sorry.
You should apologize.
Yeah, that's.
I'm apologizing.
You need to go
but
to
I'm
church.
also just telling you.
You need to go to church tonight and repent.
So the X factor in that game would have been the punter, Greg.
Yep.
I mean, Hastings was right there, and you went down. You chose to go down this route.
Oh, my pastor went to Birmingham Southern. His sports got canceled. I don't know if he's going to be mad at me for talking about punting.
Wow. Gosh, that's tough.
That hurt.
That's tough. I hate it for him. I hate it for him.
Dang, that was a gut punch.
Sometimes you got to punch back. Guy, he was 51st in punting too.
He's 51st.
Can't even make a statistical argument.
Dang
here.
it.
Hastings, what do you want?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll be really quick because hopefully
No,
I'll
you
just
won't.
talk
Don't
your ears
lie.
off on Thursday. Well, I'll talk your ear off on Thursday, corner you guys, and make you take a picture with me so I can get back to my wife who's at the game too. Yeah. Hey. So Dan Campbell, by the way, everyone thought he was ahead of his time talking about biting kneecaps. I think we now know football guy from back in the day.
He's been lunching.
Also, all these, he was the
Lunch pail guy.
One who was dialed into film back in 1913 watching those games. And everybody who's like all upset about how it was done in the past, they need to remember the greatness like Fielding's Yost and all those Princetons and Yale teams that he coached back in the day. Man, those guys were innovative.
Well said.
Wasn't Colgate dominant?
Yeah, Colgate was dominant, and then Swanee, winning 18 games in 3 days, that's pretty impressive too. My one problem with this thing is, though, guys, and I guess as an Auburn fan, if I was an Auburn fan, I would be really disappointed because, if you're going to claim national championships, you got to do it with the best. Alabama was the best at claiming false national championships, and you couldn't even do that. You got to go in there. If you're going to claim 9, you may as well claim 19. Everyone wants to talk about the 1941 national championship Alabama had. Well, actually, in 1934, Alabama was asked to go to the Rose Bowl because 4 other teams declined it. And hey, guess what? We walked off with the banner there. And so all I'm saying is if you're going to do it and you're going to claim these national championships, I'm not mad at you. But as an Auburn fan,
It's not Bob's Kraft's fault everybody passed on Brady.
Yeah,
including him.
Same deal.
Multiple times.
5 rounds.
Look, it cost them 6 Super Bowls, just like the 6 national championships that we claim that nobody really recognizes except for us. But guess what? We care about them. So if you're going to do something this late and way after these seasons, at least claim 12 or 13 to where you're up there. Be better than Golden Domer and Notre Dame because nothing would make him more mad and we'd get better calls than Golden Domer getting fired up about 9 national championships and Notre Dame's 17 fake national championships too. So anyways, as for me, I claim about 25 Roll Tide championships, not Bama, but Roll Tide championships. And anytime you beat a number 1 team, you win it. So appreciate it. See you guys on Thursday.
Thanks, Hastings. Appreciate you. Was 1903 one that Auburn claimed, did we say?
1913.
Oh.
I think it was 04.
Can I give you guys the 1903 AP top 25 real quick?
Absolutely.
Princeton, number 1.
Of course.
Been telling you that.
Yale 2.
Ivy League was the SEC back then.
Number 3, not Michigan, not Minnesota, Michigan and Minnesota.
That's one team?
Number 5, Dartmouth.
Oh, boy.
6, Nebraska. 7, Columbia. 8, Harvard. 9, Carlisle.
Oh, Carlisle.
Just a dude by himself out there, number 9 in the nation, running around. Pennsylvania 10, Army 11, Chicago, the whole city at 12. Holy Cross at 13, Amherst at 14. Lehigh is the team we have not mentioned yet that was dominant in the 1900s. 16, Northwestern, 17, Wisconsin, 18, Cornell, 19, Notre Dame, 20, Georgetown. I'm skipping 21, 22, Iowa State, 23, Haskell.
Haskell?
Haven't
high
seen
school?
Haskell. Haven't seen the tape.
Like Eddie?
Nor have I seen him on a map.
I've never heard of
Eddie Haskell.
Maybe. 24, Iowa. 25, Swarthmore.
Boy.
Today would have been a great day for Harry Potter villain or ranked in the 1903 AP Top 25? Swarthmore. Guess.
Swarthmore. What mascot are they? They're the Tigers.
Sloss.
I might need to find somebody's in the bad box score of the day today. They did lose 34-0 to Princeton. That's why they were number 1. I'm going to go back to number 2. Number 21, excuse me. The number 21 team of the nation. Case.
Case?
Cuse?
Maybe Scott Case, Cold Case.
Creature Case. My kids like that
Case
show.
of cocaine. I don't know. What?
Is that what they come in now? Cases? Basket case?
Case. That's a good one, actually. What else comes in a case? They were 8-1, by the way. They did lose 31-0 to number 3 Michigan.
They dropped all the way down to 21.
Wait, Michigan or Michigan, Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
Man, it was tough, man. It was tough to poll back then.
Yep. The Case Institute of Technology. They later merged with Western Reserve and are now known as the ever so popular Case Western Reserve. Apparently an Ohio powerhouse.
Okay.
According to Wikipedia, akin to a good MAC team today.
Wow, they disrespect. Okay. Put them in the MAC and see
That's
what
Toledo
happens.
disrespect right there is what it is.
Such disrespect.
That is a slap to Toledo's face.
Man, they don't want it at Kent State.
None.
The coach was Joe Wentworth.
Joe, what was his middle name?
G?
Gregory?
Capote?
J.G.
Chalkboard, I think.
Wentworth.
I think Chalkboard was his middle name.
877 cash now.
Joe Chalkboard Wentworth.
That was his nickname?
Or Cornstalk.
Yeah.
Dr. Mel wants to chime in. Good to hear from you, Dr. Mel. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you all this
Great,
morning?
thank you.
All right. You know, we have just seemed to have been really on a cloud here in the last few days. I heard over the weekend that the Big Ten mentioned the idea of possibly having 28 teams for the college playoff. I have a better idea. Instead of the 28 teams, why don't we follow March Madness, the NCAA? We have 68 teams, and actually it will be the road to the Final 40.
Yes.
The Big Ten teams can participate, and if they lose by less than a field goal, then they can re-enter until the 40 teams complete the final 2 slots for the national championship. And I think we ought to have for the color commentators the commissioner of the Big Ten and the president of the NCAA. So I'm going to hang up and give you all a little thought for the day on that.
There you go. We're with you, Dr. Mel. I did want to go back to number 23, Haskell, from the 1903 AP poll. Haskell's finished 7-2. They lost 16-0 at number 6, Nebraska, lost 17-11 at number 12, Chicago. Their best wins, though, is what we need to be focused on here. 6-0 at 5-1-2 Texas.
Oh.
And 12-6 at 6-3 Kansas.
Ooh.
They struggled, however, in an 11-6 win over the 0-4 Kansas City Medics. I couldn't make this up. Directly from the Wikipedia page of 1903 Haskell, they snuck past the Kansas City Medics 11-6. Medics finished 0-4. That's your bad box score of the day. Can you imagine the ambulance just shows up and be like, y'all want to play football today?
Yep.
Or 0-3, you probably don't want to get us out there. No, actually, we need to win.
If you don't give me that,
You guys could line it up right now.
Line them up.
We are going to lunch your ass, and then we're going to launch our guys.
Lunch
over
and launch.
yours.
Lunch and lunch.
Lunch and launch,
That's the
boys.
T-shirt back then.
They sliding on that leather here. Let's go, baby.
Y'all didn't want none of number 14 Amherst. Why not? Lunch and launch, baby. Lunch and launch.
God.
Hopefully, we can be a little more educated, Greg, when we tell people about our friends at Bromberg's.
Well, they're terrific. They do an amazing job. I've been going to Bromberg's for years. I know you'll have a great experience, like I have for the last 8 years, going in, buying priceless jewelry, just stuff that's going to last the test of time, whether it's gold, silver, platinum, natural diamonds, beautiful, beautiful natural diamonds. They also are renovating the Mountain Brook store to make sure that that experience continues to be an elevated experience. It's amazing. It's only going to get better as you continue to shop with Bromberg's. They have an incredible sales staff, extremely knowledgeable, very, very helpful. I don't know a lot about jewelry, so they really have helped me out over the years. I know they will for you as well. So go see Bromberg's in Mountain Brook Village and at the Summit. You can also check them out online by going to brombergs.com.
What does the future hold for Julian Sayin as a starting quarterback in Columbus for the Buckeyes? We will ask Bill Rabinowitz next right here on Jocks.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, and three-man front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.
Welcome back in, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. I did want to go to one more note from 1903, Greg, if you don't mind, before we leave this topic.
I've been begging for you to continue with that.
Fullback Richard Smith we're referencing number 7 Columbia here. They took their only loss 25-0 at number 2 Yale. Offense weak compared to other top 10 teams, so their scoring margins weren't great, but Columbia won the rest of their games. 18-6 over Penn, 12-0 over Amherst, 5-0 over Swarthmore. We thought that Auburn Mississippi State game was bad. So y'all complain about today's football, and you didn't realize it's been happening for 150 years. Same stuff. And if you think I'm lying, I'm going to tell you exactly why the same stuff is happening. Fullback Richard Smith, the consensus All-American this season, he had played for Oregon in 1896 and 1899. We're talking about 1903. So we're all mad about 7th and 8th year players now when we had them in 1903. And we thought the portal was an issue now. Apparently in 1903, the portal was an issue then too.
Not a thing.
Now, tackle Tom Thorpe. A lot of players get blamed for a lot of things in college football. I think this one may take the cake.
Oh, boy.
Tackle Tom Thorpe was a non-consensus All-American.
Tackle Tom?
They just claiming All-American status now?
Yeah.
You can't just do that.
Tommy
and the
Tackle?
next, non-consensus All-American this year and the next, but he was a poor student. The school expelled him in October of 1905, dooming the team to a poor finish that year. They would drop football after that season. Tom Thorpe cost Columbia an entire football program because he couldn't go to class.
That's unfortunate. That's extremely unfortunate.
Tom Thorpe was the original. He ain't going here to play school.
Love that.
In 1903. Just saying. It all comes full circle.
Yeah.
Also for Columbia, quarterback, wait for it, Waldemar Metzenthin.
Waldo Metzenthin?
Also non-consensus All-American 04. Had previous played for Franklin and Marshall in 1897 to 1899.
So
These kids were transferring all over the place. And playing for 6 or 7 years. Now, center Edward Bruce, don't forget about him. He made Walter Camp's third-team All-American then.
OEB.
He was robbed of the first and second.
Eddie Bruce?
Walter Camp's been robbing centers for years.
Eddie Bruce?
And I've had about enough of it.
Thank goodness.
Jacob wants to chime in. Welcome in, Jacob.
Yeah, look, you joke about Carlisle being like a one-man team, like pretty much was, right? Because they had Jim Thorpe.
Okay, but I got to ask the question, against who? Because number 9 Carlisle in 1903, they played at Utah. I will give you credit for that. But then they played at the Sherman Institute. And after that, they played I'm reading this directly from Wikipedia, so do not take this as my opinion or anything like that. Quote, an Indian boarding school in California. So I think it's actually a very fair question. Against who for 1903 Carlisle?
Folks were dodging Pop Warner.
Weren't they all? Him and Walter Camp.
That's what I want to see. I want to see 1903 Carlisle without Jim Thorpe versus 2010 Auburn without Cam Newton.
Well, what you didn't want is to see him at number 1 Princeton because they lost 11-0 in that game. They were shut out with Jim Thorpe. So there you go. All right. Thanks for the call. 800-239-9569. 800-239-WJOX. This topic has gone just
way too far.
Beyond the rails.
But it's wild, though. Yeah. It's wild.
It's awesome. I love reading this stuff.
Because like
eligibility. Did you know Nebraska in 1903 was a Missouri Valley champion?
Really? No, MVC.
They were just claiming other championships in other conferences.
We'll take that.
We're better than the Big East. We'll take that
We
one,
got
too.
that one, too. We'll take it.
Now, number 6, Nebraska in 1903. They won 16-0 over number 23 Haskell.
That's a big win.
17-6 at Iowa. And they beat Rocky Mountain champions 31-0. Those Rocky Mountain champions? Colorado.
Wow.
I wonder if that was actually a conference.
Rado?
Or if Colorado just said, we're in the Rocky Mountains.
We'll take it.
Nobody else really plays football here. So, we're just claiming this whole – this. They literally claimed an area.
We get the whole thing.
And named themselves.
Mountains.
Speaking of claimed champions, we're just claiming geographical area of championships. Rocky Mountain champions.
That's wild.
Ain't nobody coming up here and playing us in thin air. All right. We will attempt to finally move on from this topic. When we come back, we'll talk Ohio State with Bill Rabinowitz next on Jocks.
The capital of the sports talk nation. This is Jocks 94.5 and JocksFM.com. Birmingham.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Some fun conversations this hour, but we got to bring it back on to today's college football field. And one announcement that has been fairly large in recent memory was Ohio State naming their starting quarterback. Bill Rabinowitz covers the Ohio State Buckeyes. He joins us now on the Higginbotham Hotline to discuss. Bill, a lot of us just figured Julian Sayin was going to be the guy. How close was the actual competition, and was there any real threat to him not being named the starter for the Buckeyes this year?
Well, nice to be on with you guys. I always enjoy it. Only Ryan Day knows for sure, right? I mean, we don't get to watch practice. We only watch the first 3. They weren't pads. So we couldn't really, make much of a judgment based on that. He said it was close. Ryan Day, I think what it was I think that Julian Sayin, he was the 3rd stringer last year. Lincoln Kienholz was the 4th stringer. Julian Sayin's a 5-star quarterback. Obviously, he was at Alabama. He was always perceived to be the front runner. But I think Lincoln Kienholz played well enough to make it a real competition and push Julian Sayin. And there was really no interest or no reason for Ryan Day to name a starter until around now. This is kind of when he's traditionally done it, about 2 weeks, 12 days before the opener. I'm not surprised. I expected Julian Sayin to win the job, but the fact that he kind of Ryan Day kind of dragged it out in terms of not just not naming a starter, but really saying that it was nip and tuck and that it was, there wasn't a front runner. I always thought that Sayin was going to get the job, but, there was some doubt about it. But now we know he is.
It's kind of amazing to see how this went down, because I do believe that Lincoln Kienholz did a lot of good things based on what I've heard. And his mobility makes him a little bit more difficult to defend at times. And while not as good a thrower as Sayin, that mobility kept him in the race longer than most had anticipated. So how much did his mobility have an impact in this decision and kind of stretching it out as long as they did?
I'm sure it did. And Lincoln Kienholz is a phenomenal athlete. He's the kind of guy where you invent a sport and you say, okay, this is the new sport. Go play it. He would probably win. I mean, he's a great golfer. He's a tremendous baseball player. He's just a great athlete. Now, people then think that, okay, Julian Sayin isn't. And that's not the case. He's a one-sport guy, and that's the biggest difference between them. Julian Sayin was a football player from birth, basically, and Lincoln Kienholz was a three-sport athlete in high school. But Julian Sayin is athletic. He can run. It's not, he's certainly not a Justin Fields or somebody like that, but he can get out of the pocket, and he can run for first downs. And so, he's not a statue back there, and he feels the pocket very well. That's I've been told by his high school coach and other people who know him well.
We're visiting with Bill Rabinowitz. He covers the Ohio State Buckeyes. One of the bigger questions, Bill, for this team is going to be in front of Julian Sayin. That offensive line took a couple of big hits in this offseason heading to the NFL. Do have some experience coming back, but it was a real strength, not only the first unit, but after a couple of injuries, some of the second teamers there for the Buckeyes last year. How's that group sort of formulating through fall camp?
Yeah, it's actually much less of a question than it was this time last year. Last year, you kind of knew that they didn't have a lot of depth, and if they had some key injuries, they'd be in trouble, and they did. They lost their left tackle. Josh Simmons was a first-round pick. They lost Seth McLaughlin before the Indiana game, and he was playing really well. He was the Remington winner. That forced Donovan Jackson, after the Simmons injury, to move to left tackle. So they had a makeshift line, and even Ryan Day told me that he doubted whether Ohio State could win the national championship with that line. And they somehow found a way to play well in the postseason. And this is a deeper line because of the experience they got last year. I don't think they have anybody quite as good as Donovan Jackson or Josh Simmons, but they've got a lot of depth and a lot of guys they feel very good about. So I think the defensive line is more of a question because they have to replace all four of those guys. But the offensive line is being counted on to be a strength.
What about the defensive line with so many young players? I still think they're going to be super talented. And I think they're going to be super disruptive, but there was a lot of leadership lost off last year's roster. Are we overstating the departures, or is this group very capable of stepping right up?
I don't think you're overstating it. I mean, you don't lose JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer, Ty Hamilton, and Tyleik Williams and not feel it. I mean, that's just – it'd be foolish to say that wouldn't be the case. But Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry, guys like that have played a lot, and they probably expected to be the starters last year until those guys came back for one final season. So they're not, green, they're not inexperienced, they just haven't started. And they've got some talent. There's some questions about the interior of the defensive line, the depth there. They had a big scare when Edric Houston hurt his leg the first day of practice, but he seems to be on his way back. So it should be a good line. Bo Atkinson, who led North Carolina in sacks last year, is going to play for them also as a defensive end. So it's talented. It's just we just haven't seen them play together much.
Bill Rabinowitz joining us here on the Higginbotham Hotline. We're talking to Ohio State. There hasn't been a lot of discussion about the specialty positions there for the Buckeyes because I think people look at receiver and just think it's going to be dynamic again. Probably the best player in college football resides there. But tight end has been a very underrated position for Ohio State the last couple of years, in my opinion. And maybe not being super athletic and catching 50 passes, but Cade Stover, G. Scott, they've added a lot of physicality at the line of scrimmage, and I think helped them do a lot of different things. How is that position, and how has running back looked so far through fall camp?
Yeah, it's funny. Last year, Keenan Bailey, the tight ends coach, started spring practice by basically writing on the wall, "This is the least talented unit on the team." And the players looked at him like, "What?" But it was the truth. This year, that's not the case. First of all, they got Max Clare from Purdue, who on a very, very bad Purdue team was by far the leading receiver. And he can really be a dynamic weapon for Ohio State, especially when you figure that defenses are going to be geared to stopping Jeremiah Smith, and you have Carnell Tate and Brandon Inniss. So adding a pass-catching tight end like Max Clare could be huge. Running back, again, you lose Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, and you'd be stupid to say you're not going to feel that. But they feel good about James Peoples and C.J. Donaldson, who's a transfer from West Virginia. They've got a freshman. They're very high on Bo Jackson. Yes, his name is Bo Jackson. So do I expect they have that 2,000-yard rushers like they did last year? No, I don't. But I think the running backs will be good enough. I think that Ohio State's clearly going to be a passing team this year more than a running team, but they can run. That needs to play out. And James Peoples looked good last year as a freshman. He just didn't get as much action as I kind of thought he would.
As I go through and start to think about possible playoff teams this year, I keep coming back to Ohio State and trying to figure out where they lose. I could see them losing to Texas. That wouldn't surprise anybody. That's a good Texas team. That's a toss-up game. Either side could lose and still find themselves very much in the playoff mix. I could see them losing at Washington, perhaps, but probably unlikely, not coming off the bye. I think Washington's a little dangerous, but not off a bye. I just don't see it, especially with Texas being such a good opponent. They're going to be buttoned up after that game because they might get exposed in a certain area and get it addressed in the following weeks. I don't know where they lose. I don't see them losing to Illinois. I think Illinois is fine, but not anywhere near Ohio State's skill level. Penn State at home, I really like the Buckeyes to play well at home. I think Penn State's better, so I might lean them there. And then at Michigan, I just can't imagine them losing again to Michigan this year. I just can't. I'd be too surprised with what Michigan has to replace, and a true freshman quarterback at that. So
skipping week one?
I already did. I said
okay,
Texas.
Sorry,
I'm thinking like worst case scenario, 10-2. Like I don't see how this team can play their way out of the playoffs, Bill. If you're going to be just kind of a little pessimistic, what do you think has to happen for them to miss the playoff?
Well, look, they do have 3 losable games. And if they lose all 3 of those, Texas, Penn State, and Michigan, they'd be in trouble. Those are all losable games. I mean, there is a psychological element to the Michigan game after losing 4 straight. So by then, Bryce Underwood would probably be a fairly seasoned quarterback. Penn State has tried the Ohio State-Michigan formula of keeping their guys for an extra year. Maybe this is the year that James Franklin can get over the hump. Obviously, it's a tough game playing in Columbus, but it's possible. And Texas, of course, like you said, the toss-up game. And I'm glad you pointed out the Washington and Illinois games. I think those are tricky. Cross-country travel is always interesting. Ohio State has not always played well coming out of a bye. But yeah, I basically agree with you. I think that it'll be very surprising if Ohio State doesn't make the playoff. But it is a new team in a lot of ways. I mean, it's a hell of a foundation to have Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, and Sonny Styles as returning starters. There's no doubt about that. They're, I don't know that there's a better three-summer players that any team has in the country than those guys. And they have other guys. Davis Sigbedosen's a good cornerback who's now determined to cut down on the pass interference calls. There's lots of talent. There's no doubt about that. But it's still a young team. Does Julian Sayin have some first-year, issues? I mean, who knows? I think he's a really talented guy, but he hasn't played in games of these magnitudes. So I think there will be bumps along the way. Do those bumps result in losses, or just kind of like games like last year where they almost lost to Nebraska? I think they're a very talented team, but I think that there are enough questions about them that I wouldn't say they're a sure thing.
Bill, before we let you run, wanted to get your let our listeners know about your new book that you have out, Buckeye Brotherhood, on Ohio State's recent national championship. I know one for a lot of reasons had to be pretty cool to put together.
Yeah, it's my 3rd Ohio State kind of season book, and I honestly think it's the best of them because it's in some ways a biography of Ryan Day, and nobody's ever done that. Delving into his background, his father died by suicide when he was very young, and he talked about that and just the effect that it had on him. And there were so many great people stories in the book. Everyone knows what happened, the Jack Sawyer play and things like that. But the idea of getting to go behind the scenes and figuring out how and why they, for example, recovered from the Michigan loss. What was it that they did in a big team meeting? And I was able to piece together most of what happened in that meeting. I'm just glad I was able to tell the story. Because it's an amazing story. I'm not talking about the writing. The writing is what it is. But the story and the people, even like the kicker, who battled an adductor injury all year. He was feeling terrible against Michigan, and he misses 2 field goals and needs a police escort to go to class the next week. And then he gets the redemption by kicking the clinching field goal against Notre Dame. Stories like that. I was just so happy to be able to tell their stories. And so everyone knows what happened, but again, I don't think many people know how or why it happened.
No, and there's some cool, like you said, with some of the injuries that took place, the transfers that came in, some of the other reasons that some of those transfers were brought in, maybe not just for their football prowess, but leadership, attitude, demeanor, things like that. And then just what it looked like they were going to be going into the playoffs. I didn't think they could win a national title with how they were playing. And I'm sure after the Michigan game, not a lot of even Ohio State fans really believed that they could go on that run and win the title the way they did. So looking forward to checking that out, Bill. It's always great to visit with you. Thank you for your time today.
All right. Thanks for having me on. It's always nice to be on with you guys.
Yes, sir. It's Bill Rabinowitz, covers the Ohio State Buckeyes. Great stuff on this Ohio State team, injecting some confidence where I think a lot of people are lacking it with this Buckeye squad, Greg. I don't know exactly where you are with it, but hearing you talk about the schedule and what maybe the worst case scenario would be, it seems like you feel pretty good about what they're going to be able to accomplish.
Yeah, I do. I look at them over and over and over again, and I just have a hard time imagining a team like Illinois rallying up and getting the Buckeyes. I just don't see it. Michigan's a hard game. It's on the road. We know that. Texas is a hard game. It's at home. We know that. Penn State's a hard game. It's at home. We know that. How hard is it to win on the road in the Big Ten? Hard. Very hard. So I think it's going to be hard for Texas to win that game. I think I probably lean just ever so slightly in favor of Texas, but not by a ton. That game's going to come down to the wire. I'd be surprised if it didn't. But the rest of them, it's hard for me to envision a scenario where Ohio State's worse than 10-2. And I think this year, as crazy as it may sound, last year there was one team with 3 losses in the college football playoff. It was Clemson. They won the ACC. I look at it this year. I think Texas could have 3 losses. I think Ohio State is possible to have 3 losses, but that means they lost all 3 of their toss-ups. I think Bama could have 3 losses, but probably unlikely. I look at their schedule. Things set up really well for them. I'd probably lean closer to 2 with them. I think Oregon could have probably 2 losses, maybe 3. I think Georgia could have 3 losses. I think the Big 12 champ could have 3 losses. I think Miami could be in the mix with 3 losses. I think another Big 10 team could be in the mix with 3 losses. Like, I just think we're going to have a bunch of 3-loss playoff teams this year.
Yeah.
And that's because it's hard to differentiate those teams that are going to excel beyond and go 11-1 or 10-2.
It just goes along with the very similar thought process of the SEC in its entirety to the rest of college football. Is the middle of the pack is going to be so entertaining this year.
No doubt.
Because they all feel like they can beat each other. As you stated, some are going to extend and be better than we actually expected. Some are going to fall back, and we'll get probably a lot of competitive games, a lot of close games, a lot of good games, one-score games decided late. Could make for a really exciting college football season. That's kind of what I'm expecting.
How many 3-loss teams do you think will make the playoff this year? There's one last year.
I'll say this. I don't think there's going to be an undefeated team in.
I think Penn State's got a chance to go undefeated. I think Clemson has a chance to go undefeated.
I just don't think undefeated.
Okay.
Because even those teams, we sat there and talked about the holes they have and some of the deficiencies and concerns, and then the other teams that could sneak up on them because they have a few things that we think are going to be really good. I think there'll be multiple 3-loss teams in.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Not more than 3, but I think there'll be 2. Yeah,
I can see 2.
About 2 for sure.
Same page.
All right, we'll get to a little bit more on the playoff. Bad box score of the day. You're going to have to wait for that first, Greg, but one thing you never have to wait for.
It's your dental care. It's Family Care Dental. They can get you in the same day. Patients of all ages are accepted. They also can make sure that they can see you at one of their several locations: Hoover, Fultondale, Homewood, Alabaster, Trussville. They are all over the place to make it easy on you. They can get you in on Fridays and Saturdays, which is great during the school year with the schedules as chaotic as they are. They accept most insurance plans and patients of all ages. So call them today for an appointment. 874-9605. It's Family Care Dental. 874-9605.
All right, get to a break. Come back. Wrap up today's show next right here on Jock.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, 3-man front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is 9:52, Wednesday, August 20th, right here on Jocks 94.5.
Polar Bear Services, one-stop shop. They're at my house yesterday, doing an amazing job. Always appreciate the service I experience when I work with Polar Bear Services. They're so great, and they are so terrific at what they do. And I just call them for pretty much everything, which is extremely helpful when taking things into account. They helped me yesterday with plumbing. They've helped me in the past with HVAC. That's why my system's running so smoothly this year, and they're terrific when it comes to electrical work as well. So call Wes and the guys today. They're the very best. I know you guys will feel the exact same way I feel the second you have them out to your home. So remember, if you have a problem with your electrical, plumbing, heater, air, just pick up the phone and call the Bear. It's 205-497-BEAR. That's 497-BEAR.
All right, quickly, a bad box score of the day. We will roll right into it. The IFL, which is the
Indoor Football League.
There you go. The Iowa
Barnstormers?
Correct.
There you go.
They were in a bit of a tussle for a minute with the Fishers.
The prices.
Yeah, this kind of doesn't make sense when you have to do it this way, but it will make sense, I think, when it's revealed.
They're the Sharks.
They're the Freight.
The Freight. Love that.
And Fisher was moving the Freight against the Barnstormers last week.
Got him.
Final of 81-40.
That's it?
That's all.
Okay.
That's not bad.
It was 81-40.
Only a double up.
Fisher's Freight takes the win. Now, what's odd here is indoor football. We don't really think about this very often, but Fishers outrushed Iowa 154-6.
In indoor football?
in indoor football.
That doesn't happen very often.
Iowa actually outpassed Fisher's 216 to 113.
Wow, an Iowa team threw the ball. Look at God.
I mean,
that's where Kurt Warner was. Don't hate.
Go in there and get it.
Don't hate.
I wanted to give you some of the actual rushing numbers from the individuals for this game. For Fisher's Freight, Dominic Roberto, 11 for 73, 2 touchdowns. Josiah King, 6 for 37, 2 touchdowns. Jerron McGraw, 7 for 34, 3 touchdowns. And Felix Harper, 7 for 8 and a touchdown.
Okay.
Who thought ground and pound was going to be the way to go in the indoor football league?
Got to switch it up.
I think that's where the world's going.
That's what indoor football is going to
ground and pound.
Putting their hand
Put a hand in the
chafe.
Put your fullback / middle linebacker / nose tackle / running back back there and let him eat.
Into tape. So yeah, that was your bad box score of the day. A little indoor football action.
Heck yeah. Send it.
81 points in the game, though. I don't really care. Maybe more embarrassing was the previous week when Fisher's Freight knocked off the Tulsa
Rampage.
Great guess, by the way.
Tornadoes.
No, they're actually. Do you want to take a shot at it, John?
It's a shock.
They're the Oilers. They just straight stole that one.
Oilers. Come on, man.
What stole? It's not being used.
We're gonna just take that one.
What are their colors?
Green and yellow. It looks like.
Yeah, they can't go blue.
They just
can't go
green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow.
The final score was 33-7. In an indoor league football game, you scored 7 points.
The field's 50 yards long.
It's
defense.
Not great. Now the uprights are a little more narrow, so I guess getting a field goal in there would have been tough.
True. 4-down territory.
Yeah. Tell our listeners about Shannara Flooring.
Well, Shannara Flooring is great. They have so much stock in stock right now. The Core-Tech flooring by Shaw in stock right now, 40,000 square feet of it. And what's beautiful about that is you can get tremendous savings because you can take advantage of how overstocked they are. You can get $10 off per box off that Core-Tech flooring by Shaw. That's going to be durable, dependable, waterproof, pet-proof, kid-proof, you name it. It's going to upgrade your home or business. So highly recommend you going and checking out Shannara Flooring by going to footandyou.com. That's footandyou.com. 12 months financing available. Footandyou.com.
Nothing spells indoor football like the winning quarterback Felix Harper, 3 of 8 for 47 yards and a touchdown. Hassan Rogers, the losing quarterback, 10 of 18, 85 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions.
But I said picks, turnover differential.
That's all you need.
Gets you every time.
Knows indoor football too.
This is McElroy and Cubelic in the morning.